Coming up on Mountain News this morning, folks said some of their final goodbyes to Coach Philip Haywood as former players and more gathered at his funeral. And Eastern Kentucky attorney is charged with public intoxication after being caught in the courtroom.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. My name is Amelia Lee on this beautiful January 27th, Monday morning, and the time is 5:30. It's also time to check on in with our friend meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a look at the forecast this morning. And Megan, I was very thankful to put my umbrella away, which I lost in the first place, so I guess not really putting it away, but also didn't have to, scrub off my car today with that ice scraper.
Well, that is some good news. Now, for your umbrella, though, I would suggest that you buy another one. Unfortunately, we do have another rain chance in the forecast. I know there's some at Walmart for like $2 if you want to head over there this week. Yes, we do have those rain chances going away this morning, looking nice and clear as we're heading into the rest of your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and most of Thursday. But rain chances are picking up. Let's take a look at those current temperatures, though. We see mostly 30s across the region. In fact, upper 30s as we're heading more towards Jacksboro, 37 in Jacksboro and in Monticello. Looking a little bit cooler as you're heading more towards Moorhead in the upper 20s. And same thing as you're heading towards Irvin. But for the rest of us, again, looking in those 30s, nice and warm compared to last week. Forecast highs, though, even warmer than last week. We're looking in the mid 40s. All across the region, looking at the low 40s as you're traveling towards Clintwood, Wise, and Jonesville, as well as Logan and Moorhead. Here is that satellite radar watching the remainder of that rain move on out. You do see a little bit as you're looking towards Harlan. Maybe a snowflake or two or a raindrop or two could be expected. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. Yesterday, those close to the late Coach Philip Haywood gathered to say their final goodbyes. A funeral service for the winningest coach in Kentucky. He died last week after being injured in a car crash. But this weekend, a community gathered at the Belfry High School gym to say goodbye to a beloved friend who left an impact in people's lives on and off the field.
He was a loving husband, father, grandfather, great-grandfather. He was a friend, a mentor. He was a pillar of this school, of this community, and of our church.
Coach Haywood was the head football coach at Belfry High School for 41 years. He was also a guidance counselor and mentor who will never be forgotten. Legendary Clay County girls basketball coach Donnie Gray died over the weekend, according to the Clay County High School Facebook page. Gray led the Clay County Tigerettes to the 1989 Girls State Championship. He was also an Associated Press Coach of the Year 3 times in his career and has the 6th best winning percentage in KHSAA history. Earlier this month, fans and former players celebrating the legend's impact on the community. There's no word on the funeral. Target announced it would join rival Walmart and a number of other prominent brands in scaling back diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. The decision comes after President Trump signed an executive order last week to end DEI programs within the federal government. Grayson Passmore heard from legal experts about what this could mean for both the public and private sectors.
President Trump's orders call to end all diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives within the federal government.
Our country is going to be based on merit again. Can you believe it?
Critics of DEI programs say they're discriminatory and attempt to solve racial discrimination by disadvantaging other groups. But supporters and industry experts insist the decades-old practice has been politicized and is widely misunderstood.
Programs like this are designed to make sure every American is represented when we are making policy in the federal government.
Changes are already happening in the Commonwealth. Last year, the University of Kentucky disbanded the DEI office after GOP lawmakers pushed but failed to pass anti-DEI legislation. The Kentucky Chamber still has their diversity office page on their website, but we're told the office no longer exists.
I personally don't understand where the fear of DEI comes from. I don't understand why diversity and equity would ever be looked on as a bad thing.
Angela Cooper with the American Civil Liberties Union of Kentucky says the organization will always oppose anti-DEI legislation.
You know, this is not the type of legislation that is designed to help people or designed to make things better for anyone. It's designed to make things worse for a small group of people.
In Lexington, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
According to a memo from the White House, all federal DEI employees were to be placed on leave by Wednesday evening. Other brands joining Target in phasing out their DEI commitments are Walmart, McDonald's, Ford, Harley-Davidson, John Deere, and Lowe's. Companies like Costco and JP Chase & Co. are sticking with their DEI programs. Well, we're hearing from a Kentucky tow truck driver pushing for worker protections. House Bill 115 was filed earlier this month. It would equip tow trucks with blue lights to use while working at a scene. It's known as Troy's Law. In September, Troy Caldwell was hit and killed while working on I-64 in Bath County. Bubba Johnson is pushing for the bill to pass in his honor.
I think this might not fix everything we've got going on, but it will really help. And if it'll save one life, then it was worth doing.
Johnson says the day House Bill 115 is presented to a committee, tow truck drivers plan to gather in Frankfort to flash their yellow lights in honor of Troy. Officials with Kentucky Power awarded $1 million in grants to local community action agencies. Two of those agencies that received funding were in our area. The Big Sandy Area Community Action Program received $320,000, and LKLP Community Action Council will get $430,000. The funding is for weatherization improvements, which includes upgrading heating systems and the addition of quality insulation for homes. Education Commissioner Robbie Fletcher says the state supporting education excellence in Kentucky, or SEEK funding, is on track to be $12 million short for the current school year. The current budget per pupil funding allocation gave a lower estimate than what ended up being needed this school year. Earlier this month, the Kentucky Student Voice team filed a lawsuit against the state.
We will be involved with listening to their concerns and helping any way that we can come up with ways that they can cut their budget.
We reached out to House Speaker David Osborne about the funding shortfall. He brought up the concern about how per pupil costs are calculated, saying in part, quote, multiple shortfalls over the past 15 years calls into question just how reliable that data is. The final totals from the Kentucky Department of Education are determined in early March. Sports gambling is leaving its effect on Kentucky gamblers. The total number of calls, texts, and chats to the Kentucky Problem Gambling Helpline more than doubled in 2024. In the first 8 months of 2023, before sports gambling began, the line got about 66 calls a month. In 2024, it averaged 270 calls a month. The Kentucky Council on Problem Gambling believes the increase is due to the full year of sports gambling and all the ads that include messaging about problem gambling. A Whitley County attorney is facing a public intoxication charge. The new case comes less than 2 years after he was convicted of driving under the influence. WYMT's Caroline Mueller has the details from the sheriff.
Williamsburg attorney James Wren II is charged with public intoxication after he reportedly showed unusual behavior in the courtroom.
While we were in domestic relations court, the bailiffs had pointed out that Mr. Wren appeared to be dozing off and going to sleep in court. I observed for him to do that again, but I approached him to wake him up. About the time I went to wake him up, he woke up.
Whitley County Sheriff Bill Elliott says multiple attorneys reported smelling alcohol on Wren's breath. He says he made the judge aware of the situation, but waited to confront Wren until after his case.
We took him in the office downstairs. I rode the elevator down with him. He smelled strong of alcohol. Eyes was bloodshot. Just appeared to be disheveled, like in his general appearance and demeanor.
Wren agreed to a breathalyzer test where he blew a .120. And this is not Wren's first charge involving alcohol. In May of 2023, he was arrested for a DUI and reckless driving on the way to Whitley County Circuit Court. At the time, he was working a murder case.
He was sentenced 10 days to serve for that incident.
Sheriff Elliott says the incident reflects the importance of accountability, even for high-profile figures.
But if you're driving drunk, you're going to jail. If you're coming to court drunk, you're going to jail. We're not going to tolerate that.
Elliott says court security officers witnessed Wren get dropped off at court by his wife. According to an arrest citation, Wren told Elliott he had a glass of wine Thursday morning after drinking Wednesday evening. In Williamsburg, Caroline Mueller, WYMT Mountain News.
After the incident, Wren was taken to the Whitley County Detention Center. WYMT reached out to Wren for comment, and he told us he has no comment at this time. 2 people from Louisville are facing charges after police executed a search warrant at a Pulaski County home. Law enforcement agencies went to a home on Kentucky 1676 in the Science Hill area. After failing to enter the home, they went into a garage nearby. After putting out a fire in the garage, police seized meth and a handgun that was reported stolen. Thomas Sobel and Sarah Morris were taken to the Pulaski County Detention Center. On Saturday, around 10 in the morning, the Perry County Sheriff's Office responded to a car crash on Hal Rogers Parkway. 2 vehicles were involved and 1 person died. 2 of the people in the crash were taken to a Lexington hospital. There is no word on their condition. When we return, a Kentucky World War II veteran got to celebrate his 102nd birthday in style.
Plus, temperatures are increasing this week.